Hi, my name is Abby Gaudio, student number 222462998, and this is my final EECS project. I decided to do a smart plant watering system, and the goal is to read data and determine the best way to help a plant. Okay, now this is the system overview. Over here we have a cut 1 liter water bottle where I put the pump through and created a hole here so the pump can travel to the soil container. The pump is also connected to the MOSFET and the battery, which connects to D2. Now for sensors, I have the moisture sensor, which is connected to A0. I've also decided to use the light sensor and the temperature sensor. And for actuators, I'm using the LED and the sound buzzer. Now I'm going to demonstrate how my system reads light through a graph. As you can see, the brighter the light, the higher the graph spikes. Now I'm going to show you how this system reads temperature on a graph. As you can see, the higher the temperature, the more the graph spikes. In my system, I have many different files, one determining the current soil state, the current light state, the current temperature state, and one that combines all of them, which is the plant watering system. In this code, I have different thresholds that define what counts as dry soil, wet soil, hot, cold, or low light. Using these conditions, the system chooses an action such as dry and needs water, dry and hot, low light levels, plant is cold and wet, there's a flood, or just idle. Now, depending on the state of the moisture, temperature, and light, different outcomes will appear. For example, if the soil is dry and needs water, then the pump will pump small amounts of water. And if the soil is dry and hot and it needs water, then the pump will pump extra water. As well, the system can give off warnings, like if the environment is too hot, then it will flash lights letting you know that you need to put this in another environment. As mentioned before, if there is a flood, meaning that the soil is way too watery, then the system will display LED and fast buzzer noises.
Go.
Now we can see the live updates of the system in action. So as you can see, the live state is it is dry and the light is very bright. The temperature reads 24 degrees Celsius. And the overall plant state is that the plant needs water, and the chosen action is to pump small amounts of water so it can get water. Now I'm going to show you what happens when the plant doesn't receive any light. As you can see, the LED is flashing and the buzzer is going off. Now we're going to see what happens when the moisture sensor is being flooded. As you can see, the LEDs are flashing and the sound buzzer is going off, and it says that it's being flooded. At the end of this project, I realized that I had used a lot of the course learning objectives in it. For example, I learned how to take big problems and break them down into smaller ones by writing algorithms, debugging codes, and testing functions. I learned to use programming skills such as creating variables, if statements, loops, and functions, and put them in my system. For example, in my plant watering system, I have multiple functions such as current soil state and evaluate plant state. As well, I learned how to use MATLAB in an integrated environment by reading sensor data, controlling hardware, and creating real-time graphs. I was able to use the growth kit, the water pump, LED, and buzzer in a safe environment and correctly. My system solves real engineering problems by reading sensor data, controlling hardware, and reacting automatically. Finally, I created a unit test to test my logic to make sure everything was correct. Overall, this project let me practice programming, hardware control, visualization, and testing, all components that are important for EECS 1011.